Shalom. It's another Sabbath. We made it to another Sabbath. We at 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, between Chauncey and Bainbridge Streets. I'm Micah Oliver, which is Hebrew for Michael. Here to go over the scriptures. That's what you're supposed to do on the Sabbath. And I got my good reader with me.
Zechariah.
A little louder.
Zechariah Avi Israel.
There you go. And we have Yahweh with us. Don't leave nobody out. Now, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to explain certain things in the Bible. We're going to cover Satan and Satan's role in this system, because Satan is running things down here. Okay? Now, a lot of you people, especially you church people, you got the wrong concept of Satan. We're going to clarify everything according to the Bible. Have plenty of paper and pens, because I want you to write scriptures down. Okay? Now, the first thing we're going to show that, one, we're the chosen people. Then we're going to go on why we fell. We were punished for breaking the laws of the Most High. Now, afterwards, Satan, his part in this. Then we're going to show you that Satan has rulership on this earth. And then the last part is we're going to go over some of the tools that Satan uses against us as a people. Now, my reader, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to start at Job, chapter 2, start the first verse.
Yeah. Read out the book of Job, chapter 2,
Slow.
verse 1.
Right, a little slower.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm going to get everything.
Yes, sir. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh.
Stop. Now, when it says the son, we say Yahweh. Okay, that's okay with that.
Okay.
The sons of, when it says sons of God, that's not talking about people. These are talking about angels. As you read on, you're going to realize this is on a spiritual level. Okay, read it again.
Yep. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
Right. Now, think for a second. The creator of heaven and earth, they didn't say Yahweh Shai, they said Yahweh. Yahweh's not sitting in some chair and then just people start walking up on him. It don't work like that. That's how you know this is talking on a spiritual level. Go ahead.
It says, and Satan came also among them
Right.
to present himself before the Lord.
Right, Satan. This is all talking about on a spiritual level. You have angels coming up to the Most High. He's on his throne, and Satan comes among them. Go ahead.
Verse 2 says, and the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou?
Now, you have people trying to break these scriptures down on things like TikTok and all that, and they try and make mockery of the Bible. Well, why God gotta ask where you came from? Ain't you supposed to know everything? This is written as a narrative, that's all. Because we're supposed to read this later on. Of course, the Most High knows where you've been. He's the one that got you coming to him.
What?
There's no mystery. This is just for when you write the story. For our reading. This is our comfort, this Bible. That's why it's written like that. Okay, now, go ahead.
It says, and Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it.
Right. What's Satan's job? If you break the laws of the Most High, Satan is right there. The checklist. He got your name, and he has authorization to jack you up accordingly. Okay? It's like a checks and balance. That's how the Most High works. You have the angels on the left hand, the ones that do negative, like the demons, and the ones on the right hand. When you do good, they help you out. It's up to the Most High. But once you break them laws, them angels on the left hand side, them demons, they will get you. That's their job. It's like if you have something like a cane corso or Rottweiler chained up. once you walking by and minding your business, they can bark, but they can't hurt you. But once you get too close where you're not supposed to be, they got you.
Yeah.
That's how the Most High made Satan.
Yeah. Sweet sir.
On, what verse you
Now,
in?
so I wanted to read a precept to this
Yeah.
verse. Yeah. Reading that book of 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 9. For the eyes of the Lord Yahweh run to and fro throughout the earth
Y'all gonna
to
get
show
that later
himself strong in behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. He shows himself strong in the behalf of his so.
Okay. Now you finished Job 2:1, right?
Yeah, I've read
Okay.
2 too. Go to 3.
No. We're gonna show you we the chosen people. That's the first thing we're gonna do. Get Amos 3. Start the first verse, 1 through 3.
Oh, just Amos 3. 3 and 3 you said, right?
3. Start the first verse.
Well, first, okay. Reading out the book of, wow. Paul. Read the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Right. We're showing that the Most High has a chosen people. That's Israel. Good, bad, or different, we are the chosen people. Go ahead.
The whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying,
Right. You're talking about the nation of Israel. When it says family, the nation, Israel. Go ahead.
you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right. Of all the nations on this planet Earth, the Most High says he only knew who? Israel. His chosen. Nobody else. Like they got this, like in church. They tell you that, all of Israel was destroyed, they was put to death. Now it's spiritual Israelites. No, it's not. It's not. Think for a second. If all of Israel got killed, and now it's just talking about spiritual Israelites, when you go to Revelation, the 7th chapter, it names you all 12 tribes. That's coming from the original people. How you gonna be spiritual? Which means that anybody can be an Israelite. No. Only ones can be Israelites are Israel. It can't be nobody else. If you Judah, you Judah. Benjamin, Levi, so on and so forth, all the way down that list. When it said we were destroyed as a nation, which means we had our own place to live. We had the tabernacles, high holy days, all that was taken away from us. When you go to Lamentations, the 2nd chapter, from the 6th verse on down, 6, 7, and 8, the Most High give you a list of everything that was given to us, he destroyed. Okay? That's when it talks about we was destroyed as a people. We weren't physically totally wiped out. It tells you in Luke 21:24. We were scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. I'll give you the notes later.
Oh, okay, right there.
Man, this guy's annoying. Read.
So now, therefore, I, the Most High, will punish you for all your iniquities.
Right. How did he punish us? He punished us by putting us as what? Slaves to the other nations. That's how he punished us. Everyone's talking about, oh, we all Israel, and we're all sons of the Most High, and then we have affiliation with Christ. No. It's telling you point blank. Christ came to who? Save Israel. He was the sacrifice, going by the laws that the Most High set up. If you committed a sin, we were farmers. You had to bring, let's say, an ox or a dove or a lamb or sheep to the priest. they would spill the blood and the prayers would be sent up. That was how things were done. The Most High didn't recognize anything. Didn't recognize the cattle, didn't recognize the priests, didn't recognize the tabernacle, didn't recognize anything pertaining to Israel. And the sins were piling up. So to get right with the Most High, there had to be something worthy to sacrifice. That's where Christ came into the picture. And I want to add this, because a lot of people miss this point. When you say, what's the purpose of Christ? Oh, he come to save Israel and everything. Yeah. But what else did Christ do? Remember, Christ has more on his plate than just being a savior. A sacrifice for Israel. Everything has to get put back in order and reestablished. All that is on his plate. People forget about that. The priesthood, Most High wiped that out. Yahushua got to start the priesthood again. Recognizing the high holy days, that has to be reestablished. The people have to know the high holy days, when they're supposed to be honored, how. All that has to be reestablished. It's not going to be changed, it's going to be reestablished. It's like a wheel. The wheel was going backwards, spinning fast. The Most High stopped it. Now, Christ come on the scene. And by the way, this is what it's talking about during that 1,000-year period in Revelations 20 and 5. He has to restart that wheel, but this time going in the right direction. And everything is going to be put in order. It's like a pyramid. You're going to have the children of Israel in order at this point, and then everything else trickles down to the other nations. All this takes place in the 1,000-year period. Okay. Christ was more than just a sacrifice. Okay, what verse were you in?
Verse 3.
Read.
Okay. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Right. Can we walk as a nation? No. If you don't have the laws, the understanding, and the discipline, where are you going? That's total confusion. That's what we got now. Everybody going in all these different directions. You got people that want to be weekend Israelites, changing the laws. Well, we don't have to do this. We can do that. It don't work like that. With the Most High, there's no room for a question mark. Everything is black and white, so to speak. Okay? You got some want to be Muslims and some want to be all these other different religions. They want to be Christians and this. No, it's Israel. The laws, the statutes, and that's it. Okay, you can't come up here and do what you want to do. The Most High ain't having that. That's why we in the position we in now. Okay, we're gonna go to another proof that we the chosen people. Get Isaiah 54. Start at the first verse.
So Isaiah 54, right?
Yeah.
You know the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 3? You said 3, right?
First verse.
Pardon me. First verse. Sing, O barren, thou that didst not hear. Bear, pardon me. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, that thou that didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife.
Okay, when it talks about the desolate, that's talking about the Israelites that wasn't following customs. Okay, and the ones that were, and it said the desolate. Then it said the ones that were married. Married were the ones that was following the customs. Okay, go ahead.
Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not. Lengthen thy cords and strengthen thy states.
What verse you in now?
I just finished reading verse 2. 54, 2.
Skip down to the third verse.
All right. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left. And thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles and make the desolate cities to be inhabited.
Right, when it talks about we going to inherit the Gentiles, right? Why they never discuss this in church? Who are the Gentiles? Because people think that everybody's on one accord. Everybody's not on one accord. It's like a football game or something. You got Israel, that's one team, and the rest of the world, that's the other team. Those are the Gentiles. Those are the heathens. Now they got you thinking that everybody's going to come together and everybody's going to be the child of the Most High. It don't work like that. Skip that for a second. Let's go on why we in trouble. Why we were punished. Get me Lamentations 2 and 5. Start at the first verse.
Yep. Lamentations 2 and 5. We'll start the first verse I had. We're in the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 1.
Yahweh, could you? Go ahead.
How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. The Lord hath swallowed up all the inhabitations. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob.
Stop. The Most High is mad, and the Most High is furious at what Israel is doing. Everything that we're supposed to hold sacred, he's taking it away from us. Why? Because we're not honoring it. Everything was given to us. And what did we do with it? We messed up. So he's taking it away from us. Go ahead.
And have not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground, and have polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof.
Right. Now, what's this showing you? If you committed sin, what do you have to do? You got to come to the priest. When you come to the priest, you got to bring what? A sacrifice for sin. All that was taken away. He didn't recognize the cattle. He didn't recognize the priesthood. Nothing the jobs that the priest had, he wasn't going for it. Everything, the priests, they were polluted. They weren't following the laws. They was making sin left, right, and center. Go ahead. What verse you in?
Verse 3. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy.
Right. What's the right hand? The right hand is the positive side, where the Most High is helping you. That's the right hand. The left hand is what? The negative, the demons. Okay, you can look that up in, for the left hand, Matthew 25:41, and the right hand, Psalms 110 and 1. Okay, that's the Most High's left hand and the Most High's right hand. Go ahead.
And he burnt against Jacob like a flaming fire which devoured round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood.
At this point, the Most High became an enemy to Israel. We start catching hell left, right, and center. We're the chosen people. And here's the thing. The other nations knew we were the chosen people, but what were we doing? We were a public embarrassment to the Most High. Go ahead.
He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion.
Right. everything that was sacred, the Most High canceled it.
Lamentations 2. Lamentations 2.
Yahweh, give me 2nd Ezra 6th chapter. What verse you in?
I'm on verse 4 now. No, excuse me, verse 5.
Go ahead.
It says, the Lord was as an enemy. He has swallowed up Israel. He has swallowed up all her palaces. He has destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation.
Right. We were suffering. Why? We brought this on ourselves. Okay, get me, you got 2nd Ezra?
Yeah.
Chapter 6. We're going to show you who the chosen people were.
Second Ezra 6 and what?
Start 54th verse.
Second Ezra 6 and 54.
Right, we're going to show who the chosen people were.
Second Ezra 6 and 54 verse. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
Stop. We're going back to Adam. Okay, the beginning, Adam. Go ahead.
Of him come we all.
Right, and they're showing you everybody came from Adam. But what you have to understand is the Most High separates it. Give an example. Like last week, we was going into Ishmael and Isaac. Abraham, the covenant was established from the Most High to Abraham, to Abram. When the covenant was established, he became Abraham. Now, he had a son already, Ishmael. But the covenant wasn't established with Ishmael. It's supposed to go with Isaac. So even though you come from a certain line, the Most High determines who in that family gets what. Let's go another step. Isaac. Who did he have? Esau and Jacob. The covenant was given to who? Jacob, not Esau. Esau was cursed from when he was born. So in other words, what you got to understand, the Most High wrote what we call life. The Most High wrote all that out. The pitfalls, the ups, the downs, the highs and lows, all that he wrote. So the life we live in, it was already written. What was going to happen? We're going to break the laws. We're going to get punished. We was going to come out of that and eventually make it to what? The kingdom. That's what the Most High wants, the kingdom. But since he's writing the story, you're going to have the pitfalls. And besides, all this is for what? A learning purpose as a nation. Where you at?
I'm in the middle. And the people also of whom thou hast chosen. 55. All these have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Right. The earth was made for the sake of who? Israel. Why? We're the Most High's chosen people, the top nation on the planet Earth. It tells you in, we read that in Amos, of all the people on the planet Earth, who's his chosen? Israel. Now some people can say, well, that's not fair. Well, who are you going to complain to? The Most High makes what's fair, fair. Okay? He's gonna punish us by putting us under you. Then after that time period, he's gonna come back and get you for punishing us. That's the way it is. You can't get around that. Look at the track record. Read the Bible. People say that's not right, but look at what them people did. So what? The Most High is the one that wrote this. Okay, he wrote this. Go ahead.
56. As for the other people.
As for the other people, talking about the other nations, they go under the title of heathen or Gentiles. Go ahead.
Which also come of Adam.
They all came from where? Adam in the beginning. And let me clarify this right now, right? When it says Adam, because people say, yeah, but how can Adam be the first person But when you read later on, there was other people. Yeah, there was other people. Adam was the first one the Most High was dealing with, complete. There was other people. Because when you go to Genesis, the 4th chapter, as you read on, there were other people on the earth. But Adam was what? Complete. Go ahead.
Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
Oh, read that again.
As for the other people,
As for the other nations, the Gentiles and the who? Or heathens, it's the same thing. If you're not Israelites, you're a heathen. Go ahead.
which also come of Adam,
Which also come of Adam. Go ahead.
thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right, and who's speaking here? The Most High is speaking. The other nations to him is like spit that comes out of your mouth. See, they don't read you this in church. They got everybody in there thinking everyone is equal in the sight of the Most High. No. And then like another scripture they like to throw in your face where the Most High says, now I got a mental block. What's that one scripture says? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Where the Most High lets you know that nobody gets away with anything in front of him. What's that scripture? It'll come to me later on. Go ahead.
Oh, that's it on there.
That's it on that?
Mm-hmm.
No. Let me see what now we got. Let me get one more to show that there's a difference between us and the other nations. Go ahead. Give me Ezekiel 39. Start at Yahweh. Start at the 23rd verse.
39, 23rd verse.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 39:23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity.
Right. Now they got something. Some of these other nations they talk. Well, you Israelites. No, they say black people at this point. They're talking about the ones now. You black people, you don't have anything because you have no initiative. You have no drive. You're lazy. You're shiftless. We have a better work ethic than you. First of all, we're under a curse. When you go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter, read the curses that we're under. The man going to be against the woman going to be against the man. That's a curse. Why? Because both of them supposed to work together as a team. Okay? There's one in Deuteronomy 28:37. It says the other nations, they're going to look down on us. We're like an astonishment and a byword. And when these other nations come in our neighborhood and they look at the way we act and live, and in a matter of, say, a year or two, they come in, manage to save some money, not manage, they do hard work, and they work as a team. And they set up businesses, and these businesses thrive, and they get houses and cars, and send their kids to good schools. In our neighborhoods, when we running around in circles, okay, we're a laughing stock. That's part of the curses. That's why it looks like dumb people, they're losers. They're never going to establish anything. When you go to Genesis 15 from 12, 13, and 14, the Most High said, the next 400 years, we're going to be cursed. We're going to be the laughing stock on this planet. As a nation, we are a laughing stock. You can't get around that. Every nation on this planet Earth comes to our neighborhood and they just do drop dead business. And what do? Nothing. They open up a liquor store. Where's the Israelites? It's like a line. You think they're giving away cheese. Everybody waiting for the liquor store to open. To either play lotto or get some cheap booze. And who's in there? The Chinamen, the Koreans, the Africans, all the foreigners. Who owns the pizza parlors? Italians don't even own that no more. They're Africans and Arabs. The chicken places, Africans and Arabs. The cleaners in our neighborhood, who controls that? The Africans and the Arabs. That's part of the curse. So everyone looks at us and say, y'all are losers. Everything about you is a loser. And what's the biggest pitfall we have? Listen to the music we push, rap music. Oh, we gonna be gangsters. Think for a second. You are pushing poison in your neighborhood, and the money that you have, what do you do with it? You buy cars, and you buy sneakers, and you buy designer clothes. But where are you living? Do you think of buying a house? Setting up a legitimate business? You can't sell drugs forever. You go to jail, guess 2 things happen. And actually 3. The cops get the money, your girl gets the money, or your boys get the money. Now you got no money for bail. And to get out of jail, what you got to do? You got to squeal. So everybody get busted, and guess what? Another group of Israelites decide they're going to sell drugs in your space. That's the way we live. That's why the other nations look down on us. Read.
Okay, 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they transgressed against me.
Right. We went into captivity because we broke the laws against the Most High, not because we stupid. I mean, we were stupid for doing that. But see, people think, oh, them guys, they dumb. Think for a second. Everything you have in this country, matter of fact, this whole planet Earth, come from the designs and inventions of who? The children of Israel. Not everything, the bulk of everything comes from who? The children of Israel. Other nations, they have their contributions, but it's us. If you take everything we did out of the equation, you back in the Stone Age. Think for a second. A white person to say, look, we went to the moon. Then they had this documentary about the mathematicians that got them into space. There were 3 black women, Israelites. Those were the mathematicians. Now this just came out about a couple of years ago. Up until now, it was kept a secret. And then when you look at the other inventions, with the computer, the cell phone, and everything else like that, who? Our people. Our people did all that. Yeah, we cursed, but look where we came from. Even down here, we're that good as a people. That's what you got to understand. And the Most High is watching everything. He let you get a little bit of a shine, but remember, we still under punishment. But it's not permanent. It's given a certain amount of time, and we are going to bounce back. Go ahead. What verse you in?
I'm still in 23.
Go ahead.
Therefore hide I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies.
Right. All throughout the history, we were slaves under who? Our enemies. When you go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, start the 32nd verse, you had the statue with the gold, the silver, the brass, and the iron. Those represented nations, captivities. The gold was the Babylonians. Today they're called Ethiopians. So you hear people talking about, yeah, my African heritage. Don't believe that crap. We got nothing to do with the Africans. Okay. Then you had the silver. That was the what? Today they would be called what? The East Indians, the Medes and the Persians. And then after that, that's when Esau came to power under the Greeks. And after the Greeks came who? The Romans. And you have different variation of Edomites now that's calling the shots. But the fact is, all this was factored in. When you read Genesis 15, 12, 13, and 14, that's showing you we were going to be at the bottom of the barrel for 400 years. And after the 400 years, Most High was going to bring us back. Well, the turmoil in this country now, you in the 14th verse of Genesis 15, where he's destroying the other nations that did what? Afflicted us. That's when you watch CNN and MSNBC and BBC News and all that, that's what you're watching now. You live in the 14th verse. Okay? All these other nations, they put hell on us. Why? It's not like, oh, they're mean people. No, we had it coming to us. We broke the Most High's laws. He told us what he was going to do to us. He gave us a written guarantee of what he was going to do to us. He has to keep his laws. Okay, go ahead.
And to bring out that the Most High said, hide I my face, excuse me, hide I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. Because Jake don't think he got an enemy.
Right.
So fell they all by the sword. Verse 24. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions,
Right.
have I done unto them, and hid my face from them.
Right. When he said he hid his face from us, when the Most High hid his face from us, what did everybody else do? They piled on top of us. Everybody wanted a piece of us. We were the chosen people, but we did what? We messed up. And the Most High did what? He punished us. Captivity, punishment. Certain amount of time, the Most High gave us a break, a second chance. What happened? We did a U-turn back to stupid. He punished us for a certain amount of time, and we did what? We did good for a little while and did what? Went right back to being stupid as a people. All this was prophesied it was going to happen, but this is our last captivity. After this, he's going to put that spirit in us. We're going to do right, but we have to pay for our sins. Go ahead.
25. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power.
You see right now with the madness going on, the Most High is bringing us out in front of the whole world, but a lot of people ain't picking up on it. Oh, I don't believe what's happening to America. It's not the same. We was brought here for punishment, people. Stop looking back. Oh, those were the good old days. What good old days? We never had good old days. We came from the slave ships to the plantation, and when we came off the plantation, what did they have? We were at the 13th Amendment. That's when they started prisons. And the reason why they started prisons, because the people was leaving the plantations. And farms were going broke. This country almost went bankrupt. Remember, before they had free labor. Now they didn't have free labor because the slaves, they didn't need them anymore. So what they do? They started the 13th Amendment. They started saying, okay, we're going to put you in jail for vagrancy. So where did everybody go? Back to the plantation. All this went on. You got to do your research. You got to read. Read. We are those people that went through the ups and downs. That's what guaranteed to us for them 400 years. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. Go ahead.
I'm going to read 25 again. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. After that, they have borne their shame, and all their trespasses, whereby they have trespassed against me.
Right. And the main thing, the main trespass against the Most High was what? Idolatry. That was the main trespass, idolatry. When you read 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, the first 6 verses, the Most High has a direct conversation. He says, I am the only one that's out there. There's no other gods beside me. I created this, I created that. It shows you in Genesis, the first chapter, everything, how the Most High created the planet Earth with the firmament and everything. He created everything from what? From scratch. It wasn't no Allah and these other gods that they made up overnight. It had nothing to do with that. Yahweh, that's a Hebrew term for what you call God. He did everything by himself. It tells you that in the 6th verse. He says, I did it alone. So now you going to make up something and give it credit when I made everything? And I made you my chosen people in front of all the other nations? Now what kind of slap in the face is that for the creator to get from what he created? Where you at?
Okay, I'm still in 26.
Go ahead.
Okay, trespass against me. And when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid.
Right. This is a future prophecy. After the smoke clears, after all the punishment is over, after the Most High destroys these other nations. He's doing it now. Little by little, they fighting each other. And with little power they have, they're losing it. What do we do in the meantime? Mind your business, read this Bible, and look up in the concordance all scriptures on repentance. Write it down. My personal, my advice to you, you don't have to write it down on paper. Think of all the bad things you've been doing and the ones you did over the years. Write it down. And each one, ask the Most High for forgiveness for each one. When you see how the Most High is bringing wrath to these other nations, you're going to understand why I said do it that way. Because you're going to realize playtime is over. Everything cool now. But what's about to happen in this country? Y'all better get them scriptures on repentance and write them down. Okay, I did this, I did that, and start asking for forgiveness. Your bad habits, put them in the rearview mirror. Give an example. You see all these migrants they have? Let's think for a second. How people coming by the thousands across the border every day, they come to your city, they're getting prepaid credit cards up in Maine. First of all, how they got from the border all the way up to Maine? People say, oh, they took the bus. Okay, you have to charter a bus. Who's paying for the buses? So you bus loading thousands of people all the way up to Maine, and they're getting free rent for 2 years? What they gonna do after them 2 years? This takes a plan. You know what the plan is? All it's gonna be cheap labor. They're gonna destroy your unions, your pensions, your 401ks, everything you work for. You better wake up and smell the coffee. Egypt had slaves, and they prospered. Who were them slaves? The children of Israel. Now, speed the clock up to today. No, not today. The 1600s. There were slaves, free labor. Where did they go? They wound up in America. They wound up in the Caribbean. And from the Caribbean, they set up breeding farms where they were selling who? Israelites all over this planet Earth to do what? Fulfill prophecy. Let's take America back then. America became beyond super rich. Why? Free labor. Who was the laborers? The children of Israel. For a certain amount of time, and after that certain amount of time, what happened? It would collapse. And we're in that collapsing stage now. But back to Egypt, the children of Israel. And by the way, in Egypt, we wasn't in there no 400 years. That's talking about America. Okay? We was in captivity in Egypt for 80 years. When Moses was born, and when he was 80 years old, when the Most High had Moses take us out. What happened to Egypt? It was hit by plagues. There was 10 of them. You got plagues hitting America. California right now is underwater. And here's the crazy part. They're telling the people, the insurance companies, we can't cover all of y'all. I know what we promised. I know you've been paying them premiums, but we don't have it.
Right.
What you think gonna happen? And by the way, that list of places where it's jacked up, Beverly Hills is right in the middle of it. All that is gone. What happened in Egypt is happening right here in America right now. And both of them have what in common? The children of Israel as slaves and the children of Israel as slaves made that place super rich. For a certain amount of time, then the Most High pulled the plug. It happened then, it's happening now. Like I said, you're living a Bible story right now. Go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 27. When I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations.
Right, the Most High is going to get his glory how? Through us. Now, some of you say, how the creator of heaven and earth going to get his glory through these people? He took us from the top and put us under these nations. We at the absolute bottom. He's going to bring us up from the bottom and make us great again in front of everybody. That's how he's going to be sanctified. They're going to say, hold on, wait, those were the chosen people? Yeah, you're going to find out we the chosen people. It's just we've been beat down so long, we don't see it in ourselves. That's part of the punishment. Okay? He's going to slowly put the spirit back in us. We're going to start doing right, and he's going to elevate us. And we're going to be delivered out of here. All this is written down in the Bible. Go ahead.
28. Then shall they know that I am the Lord, their power, which caused them to be led into captivity.
Right, the Most High put us in the captivity. So don't let nobody give you that. The reason why y'all ain't amount to nothing, because y'all are stupid. Y'all are backwards. Y'all are ignorant. The Most High made us that as part of the curse. We're the chosen people. Think of all the inventions so-called black people did. They didn't get credit for a lot of it. But if you take that away, like I said, you be back in the Stone Ages. We have, it's just in us. It's in us to be able to make and do these things. Let's take sports. Okay? Sports is Esau's money maker. And it's also Esau's way for distraction. Take Israelites out of sports. What do you have? Nothing. The invention. What's one of the best cars in this country? Cadillac. How did Cadillac become great? Black people. When Cadillac, read the history on that car Cadillac. When it was coming up, black people was buying it, but they wouldn't sell them Cadillacs. So they used to get white people to buy it for them. And when black people was riding around in the Cadillac, it just had an aura about it. That's just who we are. And it made Cadillac great. Because if it wasn't for black people, Cadillac would have went under. It was the black people buying the car that gave the car class, gave it style. Give another example. Back in the 60s, when you go to a gas station, you saw those Jeeps. They was only good for pushing cars that stalled and moving on parts. Now our people put their 2 cents in it, and Jeeps are what? The most spectacular thing on 2 wheels now. It's us. Black man designed the Escalade. A black woman designed the Mustang when it was the first 5.0s. Most people don't know that. We are a special people. It's just we hitting a dry spot. Why? Because we broke the laws of the Most High. Let's look at this truth right now. The church system, as you know it, is basically run out of gas. It's dead right now. Why? All the scandals that's coming out. You're gonna see these mega churches falling. These pastors that have all kinds of money and power. They're going under. They're involved in scandals left, right, and center. Why is that? Because the 400 years of punishment is up. All the distraction, where the other nations could live and prosper, and Esau can sit on his throne. Remember, it was told he would be the top nation for a certain amount of time. When you go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it says Esau is going to be the end of the world, and Jacob is going to be the beginning of that what follows. You seeing that now. When you go to Obadiah, it says the Most High told Edom, I shall make thee small among the heathens. The white population is shrinking. Even they coming out saying it's shrinking. Look at your TV. When the last time on a commercial you seen a whole white family? You don't see that no more. They're shrinking. And what's going to make it worse? All these people from Latin America, and it's not just them. In that group, you got Africans in there, and you even have the Chinese in there, and the Arabs and everybody else. They flooding this place. So if the white population is sinking and all these other people coming in, you're gonna have a panic. And a lot of the whites in this country are drug addicts. They keeping that quiet. They give it a pretty name. Oh, it's opiates. No, you a drug addict. All this right now is in front of you, but you don't put the pieces together. Why? The glue that puts everything together is what? This Bible. It said Jacob would fall. How? Deuteronomy 28 chapter. On slave ships. When you look at the documentaries, how did we get here? On slave ships. Chained to each other at the bottom of ships. So-called Jewish people, Amalek. They owned the shipping companies that had the ships that brought us here and there. They owned the companies that insured the cargo, which was us. Where you had the auction blocks where the slaves were, there was all clothes on what? Jewish holidays. Put the pieces together. I didn't mean to get sidetracked. Where you at?
I'm in 28.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Read 28 again. Then shall they know that I am the Lord their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them unto their own land, and have left none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel,
Right.
saith the Lord power.
Right. What's the Most High showing you? We went under the other nations because what? We broke the laws. That's the only reason why we're under the other nations. They're not smarter than us. They're not better than us. They would just pick to be what? Our tormentors. Because what? We broke the laws of the Most High. Now, we're going to go into, while we went into punishment, we broke the laws. Okay, get me, you did Lamentations, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that shows you that the Most High became an enemy to us. And he punished us. Now, let's prove that point. Get Luke 21:24.
Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations.
Right. Did that happen to us? Of course it did. The reason why I'm going to Luke 24, this covers 70 AD. When Jerusalem was surrounded, everybody was involved in this. The ringleader was Esau. Why? It's telling you. Esau was going to be the top nation on the planet. That goes back to Genesis, the 27th chapter. When you get to the from verses 38 to 41, Esau would be the top nation. Esau would be blessed with the sword. That's how he became the top nation, and he would keep that spot. All this is prophesied, and this is what is leading up to 70 AD. When Jerusalem fell, the other nations did what? They took our records, they took our documents, and they even took a lot of us, the ones that were still there, as slaves. That's how we got to the other parts of the nation. But also, this is how Amalek, the so-called Jew, what you see right now, that's how they came into power. When we fell, they took our place, and they took our identity as their own.
God.
Okay, you in 24, right?
24, yeah.
Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Right. So when the Most High wrote this, everything had to happen the way the Most High wrote it. Other words, he wrote it, had the angels do their part, then he just sits back and watches the story unfold. Okay, this is going to happen to them for a certain amount of time. They're going to be under these people, then these people, then these people. Everything happens in order. It's like watching a movie. When you watch a movie the first time, then you rewind it and watch it again, everything happens in a certain sequence. That's what we're living, what the Most High wrote. That's our life. Okay? We broke the laws. He was going to take our land from us and give it to who? Everybody. All the records and documents and information, vital information, inventions, everything was given them, was taken by the other nations, and they claim, oh, we invented this and we invented that. No, we did all that. You just took our records.
Right.
And when you was a slave, you don't know. Because there's nobody that passed down and said, no, we did that, not them. Because when you grew up, you figure, well, what did we do? When you get them Bibles with the people in it, you don't see black people unless they're wearing a turban and they carrying something. And you figure, well, we did nothing. No. A lot of that in the Bible, we did. The inventions, present time, we made them. When you look at all the luxury around you, who do you think did that? Us. The people in charge, why do you think they watch the ghetto so much? If we're nobodies and we're going to amount to nothing, why is everybody watching us so much? Everything we do, they got to write it down. They document everything we do. Why? We the chosen people. It's just an inside joke among the other nations. The other nations know who you are. You got these Arabs, they set up stores. What do they serve you? Ham sandwiches. And you ask one of them, I thought you don't eat pork. We don't eat that crap. That's what they want, so we just give it to them. They know you're not supposed to eat. Excuse me. The Arabs know you're not supposed to be eating a ham sandwich. How do you know? You go back to Genesis. Last week, what was we showing you in the Bible? The Lord came down to who? From the Most High to Abram. Then he became Abraham after the covenant was established. And when the covenant was established, what's the first thing everyone had to do? Get circumcised. Or in other words, follow the laws. Muslims follow the laws in the Bible. They just made up their own God. Are they supposed to eat pork? No. So how are they going to serve you ham sandwiches? And tell me, we don't touch that crap, but that's what they want. And these are the people, you see our people coming to say, Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum. and he's serving you a ham sandwich. Be in a restaurant, in their stores, they're making you a sandwich, and they coming from moving the garbage and don't even wash their hands. They know you're not the same people. That's what Ezekiel 39 was showing you. You under them because you broke the laws. The Most High made us a special people. Now, we in Luke 21:24, it tells you, when Jerusalem fell in 70 AD, everybody came in and they looted the place. They took our records, our documents, laws, everything. And the few Israelites that was there, they took them as slaves. That's a trophy. You have an Israelite slave, that's status. But that's part of the punishment. And we went where? All around the world. How? That's Bible prophecy. The Most High said he would scatter us, but after the punishment was over, he would gather us back. Where is that? That's in Isaiah 66, verses 20-21. Write that down. Okay, now we did Isaiah 54. Let's get that again. Show how we was punished. Skip down to the 4th verse.
Isaiah 54?
Yeah.
54 and 4. Isaiah 54 and 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed.
Well, now go up to 2nd verse. 2nd verse.
Second verse, okay.
Yeah.
Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not, lengthen my cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles.
Right. When it said break forth on the right hand and on the left, that's talking about we gonna prosper no matter what. Go ahead.
And thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles.
Right. We're gonna have the other nations as what? Slaves. See, the people in these other nations, they know what's being said right here. They're just not gonna say it in front of you. Everyone's gonna have a certain attitude towards you. Why are they so mad at us? They understand what's coming down the pipe. When you see this place falling apart as fast as it is, and organized as it is, they know it's over. Look at the track record. Moses brings Israel into slavery for a certain amount of time, then delivers them, and that nation catches natural born hell. Now, multiply that by every nation that had us. That's every nation on this planet Earth. That's what it's telling you in Luke 21:24. We were scattered among all the nations. The whole world got rich when we fell. Not just America, the whole world. Go ahead, read.
And thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. 4. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore.
Hold it 1 second. Hold it. All that.
Isaiah 54 and verse 6. For the Lord had called thee as a woman,
Right, this is talking about the punishment. Go ahead.
forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth. And when thou wast refused, saith thy power, For a small moment have I forsaken thee.
Right. This is what we're going through now. Most High said this is a small moment. When you live forever, this is a small moment. Go ahead.
Okay. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies have I gathered thee.
Right. The small moment talking about every time we went into captivity. Okay. The Most High had to do that. Why? We pushed his hand.
Sure did.
We pushed his hand.
God.
And to show you the mercy part here, look whose hand we pushed. We got off easy. We're going to get to that part about we got off easy. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 7. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercy will I gather thee. 8.
Right.
In a little-
No matter how bad we got it now, there's mercy. We slaves, right? Where you see slaves driving Escalades? That's all. We in the worst part of Brooklyn, and slaves is driving Escalades. I'm talking about new Escalades. But we still slaves. We still catching hell. Jake got to do all kind of wickedness to get these nice vehicles, but he getting them. That's part of the punishment. Remember, when you look at people getting punished in other countries and look at here, you living quite comfortable. Go to jail in some other country. It ain't like over here. You go to jail, what happened? You got 3 square meals. You got medical, dental, and everything else. Other countries, you go to jail, it's like the guards and everything are outside and the criminals running everything inside. You have to take your chances. Okay? The Most High is showing mercy on us. Plenty of mercy in all this hell. Oh, we catch a natural born hell. Not really. Not really, considering who you got mad at you. Where you at?
I'm in verse 8.
Go ahead.
In a little wrath I hid my face from thee. For a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord, thy power, thy Redeemer. Salakia.
Okay. Now, we started with Satan. I talk to a lot of people, like church people. I says, what happened to Satan? They come with the same story. Satan got some rogue angels and they tried to take over heaven. Everybody I asked, they come with the same story. I said, no, that's not what happened. Let's go into what happened. Satan fell because of who? Israel. See, we don't realize how important we are and the parts that we played in the Bible. Because when you ask, well, where's the black people at in the Bible? They were just slaves. How did they get to be slaves? Where did they come from? Okay, let's get into that. Give me Job, second chapter, first verse.
Job chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord.
Right. When it says sons of men, okay, we're not talking about regular people. This happens in the spirit world. Okay, these are angels. Go ahead.
Okay. And Satan came also among them
Right.
to present himself before the Lord.
Right. That's how you know this is happening on a spiritual level. Because an ignorant person would think these guys are coming, and then you see some guy in red with horns and a tail. He just comes up before the Most, and the Most High sitting where on the throne, and everybody just walks up on the Most High. It don't work like that. This is in a spiritual realm. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou?
Yeah, where you been? And by the way, the Most High knows where he been. You know, like people try to make mockery of the Bible. How God don't know where Satan is? He know where everybody was. This is for the writing of this story. Go ahead.
And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and forth in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
Why? Because that was his job.
That's right.
You break any laws, he's right there, Johnny on the spot. To give punishment as punishment is due. That's his job, to punish you. If you're not breaking laws, what threat is Satan to you? Nothing. Long as you stay on your side of the laws, you got nothing to worry about. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
No, that's it on that. I just want 1 and 2. Now give me 1 Peter 5 and 8. Because you got to show how Israel fit into this, the fall of Satan, when Satan is cast down to the earth and what all that means. Go ahead.
1 Peter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right, why? If you break the laws, he got you. The Most High gave him the green light, as the term goes, to get you. You broke the law. Satan is right there. You know what the laws are. Stay away from it. You see a pit bull sitting there minding his business. Would you going to walk up and pet it? No, you know better than that. Most High says, don't do A, B, and C. What do you do? You don't do A, B, and C. What does Israel want to do? They want to experiment. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 9. Whom resists steadfast in the faith.
No. Read 8 again.
8?
Yeah.
Okay. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right. Satan knows what the laws are. You supposed to know what the laws are. You can't mix the two. Well, I'm a dabble in this, I'm a dabble in that. Okay, Satan is right there to do what? Destroy you. Because you got no business doing that. Get Revelation, the 12th chapter. Let's start at the 7th verse. How's this time on this clock? Okay, we got time.
Revelation 12 and verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Right, now let's see what this is all about. Because, see, people take this part and say, see, Satan, it got some rogue angels, and they tried to take over the planet Earth. Go ahead. I mean, take over heaven. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And prevail not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Right, because there was what? There was cast out of heaven to what? The earth. Go ahead.
9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil,
Right.
and Satan.
Right, when you read in Job, they were sitting around and they went to the Most High. And the Most High said, where you been? And Satan is basically saying what? What Israel was doing. Israel was breaking the laws. When you go to Isaiah 54, what did it tell you? Israel was married to the Most High. And Israel did what? Broke the laws. See what I'm saying? Most High knew what Israel was doing, but the Most High what? Had to punish Israel. With Satan and them bringing this thing forward, it was worthy of death. But the Most High wasn't going to kill Israel. The Most High just punished Israel. A vicious punishment. Because that was an embarrassment to the Most High. As a nation, we were an embarrassment to the Most High. In front of the other nations, everything. And the Most High gave us chance after chance after chance. Where you at?
9. And the great dragon was cast out, That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Right. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Right. He went from the spiritual world to our world. Okay. He's still a spirit, but he's down here in the earth. And this is his domain. In other words, the Most High is punishing Israel. We're down here, now Satan is down here and running things. Mm-hmm. He's adding to our punishment. And what weapon does Satan use? The other nations. The Most High is allowing him to use the other nations against us. It's like you have the multi-plug, and you have Satan. Satan's a multi-plug. All nations, they plug into Satan, they get power to rule against us. Any nation that's in power down here, where do they get their power from? Satan. Why? To do negative against who? The children of Israel. That's our punishment. The Most High using man to punish man. Only thing is, it's just different nations. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his Christ, anointed.
Right. It's showing you there's hope for Israel. And what's the hope for Israel? Christ. But everything has to come in order. When you sin in Israel, you have to have a sacrifice. You bring your sacrifice to the priest. The priest does the sacrifice and then send up the prayers. That's how we get forgiven for our sins. But when you read in Lamentation, the Most High cut all that out. We had the animals. Most High didn't recognize that anymore. You had to bring it to the priest. Most High didn't recognize the priesthood anymore. The jobs that the priest did, nah, the Most High turned his back on us. And the sins were what? Piling up. That's what Satan was showing the Most High. Look at everything what your people are doing. And you read down, it tells you that. Okay, he didn't just decide to take over heaven, no. He was bringing the sins of Israel to the Most High. And them sins were worthy of death. Christ, it mentions Christ in there with the salvation. Why? That's the only way we were going to be saved. All other forms of salvation was pushed aside. The only one that can save us was what? Yahushua. He was the only sacrifice worthy to save an entire nation of people that wouldn't do right. Go ahead.
Okay. Strength and kingdom. Okay. And the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Right. Who was the accuser? Satan. Mm-hmm. And it ain't like it was a false accusation. We was doing that stuff. And he was bringing it to the Most High's attention. The Most High knew we was doing this. Why? When you read out in Isaiah 54, we was married to the Most High and doing all this stuff. Okay? Let me see if I can get that real quick. You don't, let me see if I can get that. Isaiah 54.
What is it?
I'll get it. One second. Okay. That's in Isaiah 54 and 4. Let me read that. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither no, that's not the one. Here it is right here. Isaiah 54 and 5. For thy maker is thine husband. For thy maker is thy husband. The Lord of hosts is thy name. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God, the power of the whole earth, shall he be called. And it's telling you that the Most High, when you read further down, in a little wrath, he hid his face from us. So what part did he play? He was the husband to Israel. That's in the 8th verse. He was the husband to Israel. That's how close we were to the Most High. And what did we do? We turned our back by doing what? Breaking the laws. And the main one that got us was idolatry. And believing in other gods that was made up. Okay, where were you in the other verse?
I'm still in 10. Okay.
Where?
In the middle of 10.
Okay.
Going towards 11. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down,
Right.
which accused them
Hold it.
before. Oh, God.
Satan was cast out of the spirit world or heaven and brought down here on this planet Earth. Go ahead.
Which accused them before our power day and night.
Right. He was telling the Most High what we was doing day and night. Why? Because we were sinning day and night. We couldn't get enough sin. And what's Satan's job? To point the finger. They did this, they did that. All this is worthy of death. The Most High wasn't going to kill us. He had something else in store for us. That's how much love he had for us. But the laws have to be obeyed. You can't just break laws. If that's the case, why have laws? And the laws were given to who? Only us. It tells you that in 2nd Ezra 5:27. The Most High himself said the laws was given to who? The children of Israel. Wasn't given to all the other nations like they tell you in church. It's for everybody. No, it's only for Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Right. How were we saved? By Christ. It showed you that in Matthew 27. From 54 down. He's on the cross. The minute he passed, his spirit left his body. That was the signature on the contract between the Most High and Israel. The blood of who? Yahushua. That goes back to when you have a sin offering. You have a lamb or ox or a goat. They bleed the animal, dies. The priest set up the prayers, and that's how you forgiven for your sin. Nothing was worthy for a sacrifice except for who? Christ. Christ was the only one worthy to be sacrificed for a whole nation of people. His people, not everybody, his people. The other nations, the Gentiles, they weren't under the law. Only Israel was. Go ahead.
I'll read 11 again. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death.
Right.
The death.
That's talking about the martyrs of Israel. When you read in Revelation 6, verses 9 to 11, the ones that gave their life up for the word of the Most High, like the woman with the 7 sons. All 7 of her sons, they refused to eat pork. That's in the Apocrypha. They gave up their life. And when you read in 1 Maccabees, the 1st chapter, the people that stood up, they said, "Nah, we're not breaking no laws." And it cost them their life. Those are the ones that stood up for the laws, the martyrs. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Right. Now, when you read that, here's what people don't seem to understand. From the time when Satan was cast out the spirit world down to the earth, the clock was ticking. In other words, the world was going to be allowed to go crazy for a certain amount of time. Then the Most High would cut that off. And there would be a battle between what? Good and evil. Christ and Satan. That's what everything is leading up to. The whole world is going to be turned upside down. And what's the Most High going to do? He's going to deliver 1/3 of Israel. That's what people don't seem to understand. It says Satan's time is cut short. When Satan's time is cut short, that's when deliverance comes. But it's going to be so chaotic. People are going to be bugged out of their mind, all the things that's going on. You can see how things are building up. This is Satan. And them angels, he had those demons. They get in people to do crazy things. This world has never been so chaotic. All these world leaders, the wars, you can see it building up. It's like back in the days with a pressure cooker. Things is building up, starting to make that whistle sound. All hell's going to break loose. If you want to keep a sound mind, stay in this Bible. Start going in the concordance. You have them computers on your phone and everything. Look up certain topics for repentance. Look that up. Write down the notes when you watch the shows with brothers that are doing the shows. Write down the scriptures. When you want to read about who the chosen people were, it's Israel. It wasn't everybody, it's Israel. Why we the chosen people? The Most High had a love for us. It's beyond comprehension. He made us his chosen people. We broke his laws and he punished us for a certain amount of time. We coming out of that punishment. Now the other nations are starting to catch the hell. This is the time, if you understand the Bible, to repent. Okay, because you're going to see stuff in these streets you never thought you were going to see. Never in a million years. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
Right, the woman is who? Israel. The man-child that she brought forth was who? Christ. What was the purpose of Christ? Christ was the sacrifice. Okay, Israel was going in a downward spiral. You need sin offerings to get right with the Most High. The Most High turned his back. I don't want to hear that from y'all. I don't want to hear none of that. He don't want to deal with the priesthood, the laws of sacrifice, the sacrificial animals, none of that. The kings, the priests, everything, he turned his back on it. And what was we doing? We were sinning even more. Satan brought this before the Most High. All that was worthy of death. The Most High wasn't going to put Israel to death. Satan was what? Basically shown the door. That's how he went from heaven to earth. And what did the Most High do? He had a punishment for us. The love he has for Israel, he wasn't going to kill Israel. Israel was worthy of death. But when you kill Israel, you got to wipe out everything, the earth, everything. So the Most High had punishment for us. That's why we're going through what we're going through now. And when you read our history, what we went through back then, that was the result of it. So Satan is cast out. And Satan says, oh, I'm going to get the woman. The woman is Israel. The man-child that came from the woman was who? Christ. Which is what? The sacrifice for Israel. That's the only thing that was worthy to be sacrificed to save Israel and absorb all the sins of Israel. Yahweh Shai, what they call Christ, had the sins of Israel on his shoulders alone. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
That's talking about the deliverance. That's talking about when we get delivered out of here. That's one of the great deliverances. When we get out of this place. 1/3, it tells you in Zechariah 13:8 and 9. 1/3 of Israel is going to make it. The 2/3, they're not going to make it. Why? They're caught up in this world. They believe all this nonsense. They caught up in all these churches, all these philosophies, religions, ideologies, all that. You got Santeria, you got Buddhism, you got all this nonsense. Our people are caught up in it. Only 1/3 of Israel. And by the way, the Most High said He's gonna save 1/3. That don't mean they're doing right, because even the 1/3, you got nonsense in the 1/3. But the Most High is gonna take the 1/3 and work with that, and that's gonna bring Israel back. Go ahead. But that's a different story right there. That's a different class. Go ahead.
Okay. 2 wings of an great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time.
Right. Over a certain dispensation of time, all this is going to fall into place. Go ahead.
From the face of the serpent. 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth waters, as a flood after the woman.
Stop. The water or the floods talking about lies. Okay, these ain't the chosen people, it's these people. It's this, it's that. No. Read, it's going to explain.
As a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right. These are talking about lies. Go ahead.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
Right. Now, when it says the earth helped the woman and swallowed up the flood of water, that's talking about archaeology. When you go check out all the archaeology that proves we were the chosen people. All over this earth, they have proof that we were the chosen people. When you look at the drawings back then, you had dark-skinned people that were the slaves, and another dark-skinned people, which were the masters. Those were the Egyptians. When you hear about Egypt, you can't look at Egypt now. It's like you in Howard Beach now. But back then, the Egyptians were dark-skinned people, like a Wesley Snipes or Royal Coat. So you see dark-skinned people in a position of power, and they had the whips and everything, and you had another dark-skinned people, they was bent over doing the hard labor. Those were the Israelites. Okay, that's what it's talking about when it says the earth swallowed the flood. The flood was the lies, and when it said the earth swallowed it, that's talking about the archaeology, when they dug it up and got all the records about us. But the people in Israel now and the people in Egypt now, they're careful what they let out. They let out bits and pieces, and some of them bits and pieces is contaminated. So like when you watch that movie 10 Commandments, where you get Moses, how Moses look, who was that guy again for Moses? Charlton Heston. How is Charlton Heston going to be Moses? It tells you when Moses met his wife, they was fighting over water, a well for water. And then the wife, not his wife yet, she came home early, and the father asked, "How you get her? How you back so early?" It said, "This Egyptian helped us over by the well." Egyptians were dark-skinned people at that point. So if Moses passed for an Egyptian, how could he be Charlton Heston? See, this was talking about when it talks about how the earth helped the woman. All them lies they have when they do all the archaeology, they say, wait a second. These were black people. The children of Israel were black people. And here's the crazy part. When you look at all these documentaries, you can look it up on, give an example. In Russia, when Reagan was alive, when Reagan was over in Russia, they showed you the Black Madonna with the baby Christ, dark. When they're there with the Pope is praying in front of who? The Black Madonna with the baby Christ, and they jet black. Now, how the Pope praying to a black woman and a baby, and that's supposed to be Mary and Christ? But when you come over to America, everybody's white. What can I say? Go ahead. What verse?
I'm still on 15. And cast out of his mouth waters as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
Right.
Which
and,
the
right. And that's archaeology. Go ahead.
Okay. Swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High, and have the testimonies of Yahushua.
Right. When it talks about the remnant that kept the commandment, that's going to be leading up to Jacob's trouble. Okay. It's going to be leading up to Jacob's trouble. They coming after the elect, the 1/3. Everything is going to be the other nations are going to turn up their heat. Satan is working through the other nations to come against us. And when it talks about the last part, read that again.
Okay. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High.
Right, hold it. That kept the commandments. That's talking about the ones that are doing right with the Most High. Okay, that's Jacob's trouble right there. That's in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Jacob's trouble. See, this thing is going to get very personal. These other nations, they're going to come. First of all, the other nations already know who you are. That's what you're not picking up on. But they're going to show you they know who you are. That's what this is saying. I didn't get to finish it the way I wanted, but permitting, next week I'll have a part 2, which would be I'll recap on some of what we covered the first part, and I'll have a part 2 to it. It explain how the other nations are going to come against us. We're the chosen. What have we covered so far? We're the chosen people. Why Satan was cast out of heaven? Satan was cast out of heaven because he was making the accusations against us. In other words, bringing our sins to the Most High's attention. The Most High knew it, but Satan's in heaven saying, look, this is what your people did, A, B, C, and D. And it was worthy of death. Was the Most High going to kill us? No. He was going to put a harsh punishment on us. So when you see the condition we're in, you have to understand we brought this on ourselves. And it tells you in Isaiah 54, with great mercies. Yeah, but we were at the bottom of slave ships, butt naked and chained up. Who did you aggravate? The Most High. We got off easy. We was beaten with the whips and babies thrown to alligators. Who did you get mad? You got off. We got off easy. No matter what atrocity you hear about in during the slave time, we got off easy. Who did we get mad? Yahweh. And once you get Yahweh mad, who are you going to complain to? Who? Who's going to say, well, he's mad, but I'm going to talk to you to talk to him? It don't work like that. Yahweh Shai came on the scene. Why? That was the only hope we had. To recap some of the things. In Lamentations, the 2nd chapter, it tells you how the Most High was mad at us. On the 5th verse, we became an enemy. Verses 6 and 7, the Most High, all our escape routes for sin, the Most High turned his back on it. He didn't want to hear it. But we got the animal to sacrifice, didn't want to hear it. We burn the incense in the priesthood. The priests burn the incense before they send the prayer. Most High didn't want to hear it. But what about the priests? Most High didn't want to hear that neither. The only ace in the hole we had, the Most High gave us who? Yahweh Shai. He gave us the way out. Everything we had, we messed it up. We messed it up. So with that, it didn't go as smooth as I want, but hopefully be here next week and give you a final part 2.
Everyone is saying it was a great class. All praises. Everyone watching is saying it's a great class.
Okay. So with that, hopefully I'll see you next week. Shalom. So
Hey,
what?
the most I could.
So what?
Yeah.
The good thing about it is that the house shall being sacrificed, he has the power to what? To do a killing,
Ah.
to do sport, not to
Ah.
very important. He gonna raise his head.
The life we live is like a book. Okay, every time we come back, it's like a different chapter. Okay, we got off easy.
Even the scriptures say that. He punished us less than what we deserve.
Right. Because when Satan was up there, that was the killers. And he'd have been right. Because everything we did was worthy of death.
So he's really supposed to get rid of us, but
Right.
that's it.
And what did he do? Not only that, the reason why Satan is mad, what happened to Satan?
Got kicked out.
Not only, what else happened to him?
Well, I want to guess what that.
How long was Satan supposed to live? How long did the angels live? Forever.
Oh yeah, right.
So when he messed up, went up there, what did it say? His time was what? Cut short.
Yeah, cut. Yeah.
Right. And he was mad. Of course, if you're supposed to live forever, and what happens when he get cut short? In Revelation 29, what happens to Satan? He's cast in the lake of fire.
Oh, okay, yeah. 20.
For how long? Forever.
Yeah,
To
forever.
be tormented. And basically, he was doing his job. Look what these niggas are doing, Lord.
Yeah, mercy on him.
Mike, what time you talk coming?
8:30. I got time.
Like his word says, he said he considers what? Not dirty rags, filthy dirty rags. Isaiah, was it?
No, that's talking about our righteousness.
Say again?
You're talking about our righteousness is as filthy rags.
Right, yeah.
You're talking about a woman's rag.
Okay, yeah, so now and every time I think about it, imagine if the shoe was on the other foot. Oh man. What's up?
How would it the water? No matter how many long years you've been in here, you still don't fully comprehend Ephesians 6 and 12. People said that was a good class.
Yeah. It was a great class. It was a great class.
You get a call from me later on tonight. Let me get out of here. Well, everyone I did talk to, they tell you the same thing. That Satan wanted to just take over heaven. That's probably why all the spirit nonsense was happening.
I don't know what's up with this thing, man. I can't get that other thing working. It's all out of whack.
Look at the topic we hit tonight with Satan. Because a lot of church people, they come with the same